along comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand.
Hello and welcome to Oh the Horror. I'm Fedora, and tonight is a very special night because this is potentially my most requested episode. So it's gotta be good, right? I mean, surely my beloved fans who stuck with me for over 2 years wouldn't intentionally want to see me suffer. You sadistic twisted! So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Scream franchise. Wes Craven's Scream was a 1996 whodunit teen slasher movie created as basically a way to end the slasher genre as a whole, but actually ended up revitalizing it for a new generation. It stars Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, a motherless high school girl who, along with her friends, becomes the target for a masked serial killer dubbed by fans as Ghostface. What separated Scream from the rest was its self-aware style, being filled with horror movie cliches, but instead of trying to hide them, it embraces and references them.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Due to its surprising success, it was obviously turned into a franchise, beginning with Scream 2, set in college and starring all the original cast, and bringing in a brand new killer. And eventually, leading to tonight's review, which is a slasher movie made in the early 2000s. I'm already skeptical. Well, let's dig right into Scream 3. So, this movie starts in Hollywood. Don't they usually? Where we zoom down onto a traffic jam where Scream 2 red herring Cotton Weary, now apparently incredibly famous, is yelling at his agent.
I mean, think about it. I'm risking my reputation as the host of this country's #1 nationally syndicated talk show to do a cameo in some cheap slasher flick.
Oh, sorry, is this the Conan O'Brien Sharktopus 2 pitch I accidentally clicked on? And to spice up the phone call scenes this time around, it seems Ghostface has a voice-changing device, as he then calls up Cotton with a sexy lady voice.
I do, huh?
Yeah, I think he's got a really sexy voice.
Yeah, that's okay, I guess, but we can go better.
Hello, Cotton. What's your favorite scary movie?
After the charade, Ghostface demands to know where Sidney Prescott is hiding, but Cotton refuses to help him. So in retaliation, he goes after Cotton's girlfriend.
Cotton, is that you?
I'll turn on all their electrical appliances and give them a massive power bill! No, trying to kill her is obviously a better idea. And after the man himself blasts home, he's immediately bashed over the head because, thanks to the device, she thinks he was the one trying to kill her. Psych. And after that, Liev, or however you pronounce his real name, is killed in movie before his career is inevitably killed in X-Men Origins Wolverine. After that, we check up on our series heroes, starting with Sidney, who's living off the grid as a women's crisis helpline operator, and cutthroat reporter Gail Weathers is, as always, getting involved with solving sensitive murder mysteries, even though she's a reporter and more likely to compromise an investigation rather than assist with it.
I'll show you this because you're the Woodsboro Authority and because you knew it. I promise you, if you share this with the world, it's you I'll be arresting.
I swear at my Pulitzer Prize, which I plan to win one day, Detective.
Or, you could always tell Dewey. I mean, he survived the last 2 movies and he's a cop. So because of Cotton's murder, a lot of press is being put on the movie he was supposed to cameo in, which is Stab 3. Stab, of course, is the slasher movie franchise within the franchise, based on the Ghostface killings. This is, of course, causing a lot of stress for the studio heads.
Detectives, there's no reason to presume that Cotton's death had anything to do with this movie, is there?
He was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed.
Oh, well, concrete evidence then. Somebody get some security over to Sylvester Stallone. After all, he was in that movie Bullet to the Head. Well, if you guys are concerned, I can at least do you a favor and save you a few $100,000 in royalty fees right now. Don't use the victims' real names. And then a wig with Courteney Cox attached to it arrives on set and instantly, I repeat, instantly disobeys the detective and starts recording her investigation.
Gail Weathers.
Ah, shit!
Listen, I know we've never met, and I don't mind you never returning my calls, but I have to tell you, after 2 films, I feel like I am in your mind.
This is Parker Posey playing somebody named Jennifer, who is playing Gail Weathers in the Stab movie. So maybe we'll get a fake Sydney to come and punch her in the face. Oh, and I mentioned Dewey earlier. It turns out he's not a cop today. He's the movie's technical advisor.
Well, surprise, surprise. Someone dies and Gail comes running.
What, you guys are fighting again?
I am working with Kincaid, Dewey.
Rules are rules, Gail. But really, it was great seeing you.
Make sure you visit me in rehab. And then Jay and Silent Bob. Because that night, Sydney has a dream of her dead mother paying her a visit from beyond the grave.
Sid, come here. Mother needs to talk to you. You're just like me. You're just like me.
Sydney, mother's drunk. Fetch the wheelbarrow, won't you, dear? Back over to the Stab 3 set, and Ghostface has arrived and has begun killing off more members of the cast. And it's this scene that really shows why I love the Scream franchise so much. It's self-aware satire.
Stab 3. Jesus, I gotta get a new agent.
Well, let's talk about your character, okay?
What character? I'm Candy, the chick who gets killed second. I'm only in 2 scenes.
And after that murder, our heroes finally work out Ghostface's new plan.
Someone's killing them in the order they die in the movie.
No, if that's the case, I have a quick fix. My character survives. Solved! Oh, something I forgot to mention. At every killing so far, the police have found a headshot of Sydney's mother during some early actress point in her life. Luckily, they think they have a suspect. Stab 3's very own director, Roman. I'm being suspected early. This means I can't possibly be the killer. Those are the rules, right? But it seems they were wrong. Because Ghostface, who has somehow found out Sydney's new phone number, calls her up in her mother's voice to fuck with her head some, and then over to this mansion where our heroes are staying at to fuck with them.
Alright, don't panic.
Hey, he said don't panic!
And the killer will give mercy to...
I can't see shit.
whoever smells the...
Wow, seriously, dude? I mean, you couldn't use a cell phone light or something? You had to use a flame? You guys are just making this far too easy for him. God, please don't let somebody complain that their $5,000 Gucci jacket is getting ruined in this fall. Dewey manages to put a couple of rounds into Ghostface, but he pulls a Michael Myers and gets away. So now that the carnage is over, let's rekindle that old love, darling.
Thanks for saving me.
Let's have it.
You know, for all my snark, I actually really like Courtney and David's on-screen chemistry. I mean, they were married for like 4 years up until this point, and another 13 afterwards, which is pretty damn impressive for celebrities. Sydney meets up with Gail and Dewey the next morning, so we can have our Scream rules list scene / incredibly phoned-in cameo.
Here are some super trilogy rules.
1, you got a killer who's gonna be superhuman. Stabbing him won't work, shooting him won't work. Basically, in the third one, you gotta cryogenically freeze his head, decapitate him, or blow him up.
No, I can't use my gun anymore, Chief. The video told me the killer was a superhero.
Number 3, The past will come back to bite you in the ass. Whatever you think you know about the past, forget it. The past is not at rest.
Well, if that's the case, that dream she had of her mum came at an incredibly convenient time. Unless Ghostface has literally gained Freddy Krueger powers. The two Gales separate from the group to do some snooping for information on Sydney's mum's acting career when they run into...
Hey, are you...
No.
But you look just...
Like her? I've been hearing it all my life.
It's uncanny.
I was up for Princess Leia. I was this close. So who gets it? The one who sleeps with George Lucas.
Wow. Talk about typecast. You know, at least Mark Hamill had the Joker. They find out Sid's mum starred in a few little horror movies that were all made by Lance Hendrickson's character here, which now makes him a suspect. And if it is him, Sydney's sure making it easy for him. Because the veteran survivor who spent years in hiding now walks off by herself into the shadowy movie set. Maybe being in a teen slasher setting has radioactive effects on brain cells. Unsurprisingly, Ghostface appears and attacks her, leading to a chase around the replica of her old... Holy shit! OH&S would have a field day with this place. She manages to give him the slip and is taken to safety by the cops. As for the rest of the heroes, they go to interrogate Lance Hendrickson about his history with Sydney's mum.
You know, maybe the sad truth is, this is not the city for innocence.
You're damn right. Hollywood is pure evil. I mean, look what it did to Hulk.
You know what? All you fans, y'all can just kiss my ass.
Don't worry. We'll watch Rocky 3 tonight. That usually snaps him out of it. Nah, I'm pretty sure he's just a businessman douchebag. How about the lead cop here who came up to Gale with a case? He seems pretty shady.
I know what it's like to see ghosts that don't go away. To be watching a scary movie in your head, whether you want to or not.
Oh well, I guess whoever the killer is, we'll find out soon enough. As Sydney, quote-unquote, calls up our heroes and tells them to meet her at Lance Hendrickson's mansion. When they arrive, they meet up with the remaining cast members, who do the obvious and split up to explore the mansion. Meanwhile, Dewey and Gale discover that this is actually a setup and go looking for them. Gale stumbles upon director Roman's dead body, and more of the cast start to follow. Oh no, he's gonna kill fake Gale! And by all no, I mean thank fucking God!
Do you hear something?
Nope, I don't hear a thing. Ghostface gets into a tumble with Gale, and they fall down the stairs into the basement. And when Dewey tries to save her, he, for once, doesn't get mortally wounded. The killer catches the two of them, and then calls up the real Sydney to meet him at the manor alone, or they will both die. Well, thank God cops just leave their guns lying around in unlocked drawers for any asshole to steal. Not that it matters, because she instantly loses the gun the moment she arrives, and she's then at Ghostface's mercy.
Think again. It's your turn to scream, asshole.
Wow, Sydney, did you, a key witness in a serial killer case, actually steal 2 guns from a police station and walked out without being noticed? We should probably call Eternal Affairs after this. But, again, as expected, Ghostface vanishes after being shot. So she goes off alone to look for him.
Be careful.
Yep, Sydney, we'll just, be here. She finds him in a hidden screening room, and he finally reveals his true identity.
Who the hell are you?
The other half of you. I searched for a mother, too. An actress named Rena Reynolds. Tried to find her my whole life. Knocked at her door thinking she'd welcome me with open arms, but she had a new life and a new name. Maureen Prescott. You were the only child she claimed, Sydney. She shut me out in the cold forever. Her own son.
Roman Bridger, director.
And brother.
Director Roman? Didn't Gale check his pulse earlier and confirm that he was dead?
Seems Maureen, Mom, she really got around. But Billy's father? Your boyfriend didn't like seeing his daddy in my film too much. He didn't like it at all. Once I supplied the motivation, all the kid needed was a few pointers.
You. This is all because of you.
Yeah, they're really scraping for what they can get with this whole trilogy thing, aren't they? Man, this is a piss-poor attempt at trying to tie the movies together. Yeah, because there is absolutely no way that original killer Billy Loomis could possibly have found out his dad was a cheating scumbag without Roman's help. Okay, now that the quote-unquote trilogy stuff is out of the way, let's get a fightin'.
Brother, my brother, tell me what are we fighting for? We got to end this war.
Whoa! Shit! Dude, seriously, just an inch higher. Nah, there's no way she was wearing a bulletproof vest or anything. Oh shit, the irony! So as Roman lays dying, Dewey recalls dead Randy's warning about the killer being superhuman. Well, considering every other Ghostface so far has come back from the dead for one final jump scare, let's just cut the suspense crap already. So, with our heroes all back at Sydney's house, this movie comes to a romantic end, with Dewey proposing to Gale, and Sydney not setting her alarm or closing her door properly. You may call it a sign that she's not terrified of her own shadow anymore, but there is such a thing as being a little too relaxed. And that was Scream 3. The Scream movies have always been a bit of a piss take of the genre, but not really to the point of idiotic parody. This movie, however, does come dangerously close to that line. The comedy is a lot more present here than in previous entries, and may come off as a little stupid to some, but as for me, I still think it's a fun little romp. The acting and characters are still good and varied, and the atmosphere during the scary scenes is still strong. I don't like how the killer is really out of left field and the weak attempts to explain how this is a trilogy. But all in all, while incredibly goofy, it does have everything a Scream movie is supposed to have, and is a fun watch despite its many flaws. And that's all from me for tonight. So, I'm Fedora, this is the Horror, save a scream for me, and we'll see you next time.
Don't go high.